Grinsell. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about purchasing new equipment, and especially things like your camera, because picking the wrong one could be a bad thing and a waste of money. I was going to use, or wanted to use, the new filters, but the sea's not rough, so it's probably going to be a bit pointless. So instead I'm going to walk around and see what else we can grab and have a chat and all that stuff, and talk about obviously purchasing new equipment, especially camera, because purchasing the wrong one can cost you a lot of money and also could end up with features that you're never going to really use. So when you purchase your lovely new piece of equipment, I'm talking generally in equipment. I'm actually specifically talking about your camera. So I've recently just purchased a Canon RP, and people think, why have you just picked a camera that is theoretically an older model? And there are reasons behind it of why I chose the RP over the R8, and it all boils down to a few things that I always tend to look at when purchasing anything. One of the first things that I tend to do is I look at what is it that I need, what is it that I need it to do, and what aren't I bothered about. Because there's no point in actually purchasing something which has got features in it that you're never going to use. So, oh God, blimey. So let's just take the RP for instance. What did I want? I wanted a full frame camera, because I've got crops, which are all good, there's nothing wrong with a crop sensor. But I wanted a full frame. I wasn't too bothered about video capability, and the reason is because I've already got a camera that I use for videos, and now I've also got the Pocket 3 that I'm using here. And then obviously I'm looking at other aspects of things like size and weight. So I wanted something that was pretty much let's just go down this way because I was going to jump. I didn't want anything that was too big and bulky, so I wanted something pretty smallish, but not small like M50 small. Excuse me while I jump down this wall. Yeah. So that narrowed it down to pretty much the RP or the R8. So looking at the difference between the two, this is where you start thinking, right, now let's look at specs. So both full frame, both, around your 24 megapixels and what have you. And because I wasn't really bothered about, oh, excuse me, things like burst rate. I'm doing landscape and stuff. I don't really need anything that's that sort of, that's quite pretty, that does. I'm going to keep walking now. Yeah, because I wasn't really too bothered about burst rate, that it was another one of those, that I wasn't really too worried about. Yeah, you get me. I'm not shooting wildlife or anything like this, so high burst rate, I weren't really bothered about. So yeah, the R8, your burst rate's higher than the RP. Processing, obviously you got digit 8 to digit X, so there's a little bit of a difference there, which I wasn't too worried about, because, so like to say, the processor power is not everything in a camera. It is quite important, but it's not like it's a old version. So, you know, Digitech is still pretty modern. And the sun's risen, and I haven't even set up, but it doesn't matter. There's no cloud or anything around. It's just going to be pretty, yeah, okay-ish. So what were we saying? Oh yeah. So you see where I'm going with this. I'm looking at the specs and I'm thinking, okay. So I'm looking at the R8 and the RP. But this was the point where the decision had to be made. The cost difference between the RP, which you can still get on Canon's website by the way, and the R8 is around about £500. So I then had to sort of think, well, that's all good, but all of my current equipment, because I think I was on DSLR before, so I was on the EF mount. That's where now I'm switching over and it's going to be onto the RF mount. I think, well, I've got a lot of things that I need to change. So if I bought the R8, I'm then limited, I've got limited funds left to get other stuff that I needed. Things like lenses, filters. I wanted to upgrade my, you know, which I have done to the Pocket 3 here. So for me to do all of that, I had to make a choice of which one I went for. So if I won't go for the R8, it's okay, but it means I can't afford then to get other stuff until a later date. And I wanted it all now because that's just, yeah, this is where I am at times. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so this is where, you know, you then think, right, well, the RP for me, this is literally the thought process, so, you know. So I thought, well, the RP for me does everything that I need it to do. And yeah, I know it's like, what, 5-6 years old now, but you can still buy it, and it's still a very good camera. But there's also 2 different lenses that I could get to come with it. So it's the same again, it was a choice, and this made a bit of a difference on the price. I could have chose the 24-105, which is the one I'd got, or the 24-70, which is the other one. And the thing is it's again, same again, it's looking at what you want to do. Well, the 24-70 ideally is not, if I was doing more portrait work, that would have probably been the one that I would have gone for. And the reason being is because it was the 24-70, but it was an f2. And this one, which is the 24-105, which is an f4. I don't do much portrait, so there was no point really in getting that one. And the other one is probably a little bit more suited for what it is that I do. I'm just seeing this lovely group of rocks here, so I might stop, see if we get something nice from this while that sun's rising. The thought process on that one was that's pretty much how it was, and I think it's sort of like a good sort of way to go about things. You know, I'm looking at what it is that I want, what I've got the money for, and what else I need to do. So, I mean, I'm going to say, I think if I did have a little bit more funds available, I probably would have gone for the R8. But I also needed to get some filters and stuff as well, which I was hoping to use today, but I don't think we're going to be able to because it's pretty calm. Might be able to come up with something, I don't know. We'll have a look in a minute. So yeah, because obviously I had other things to get, you know, the Pocket 3, plus there's some filters, plus I've got some lighting as well for when I do my talking head stuff at home. It was, I think it was more of a case of, it wasn't a case of, well, it'll do, because I'm going to say probably for the past couple of years, I wanted the RP just for the reasons that I've said. You know, it's slightly more compact, obviously not like, you know, M50 sort of small. But not only that, is as I'm now going to obviously be starting to build the accessories up for it, obviously coming from EF to RF mount is one of the things that I think, you know, once I've got that stuff, the lenses and what have you, is then when I do change, again, it obviously will be one of the R systems. I've already got that bit, so I've only got to buy just the camera body, which obviously saves. And then I've got a really decent backup. Let's just get over this groin here. There we have it. Letting me know in the comments of your thought process that you use when you're actually buying your camera equipment. Is it, I'm just going to go and buy the most expensive? Or is it a case of, I'm on a budget? Or are you somewhere in between? Because I'm somewhere in between. I'm not on a budget, or I should say I'm not on a tight budget. I never see the point in buying things that for the sake of it, you know. It's like, well, that's the most expensive, I'm going to buy that one because it makes me look good. No, that's not me. I think I'm the sort of the person which will go around and sort of say, right, I'm going to buy that because it does what I want, you know. Oh, just walking around, tide's too far out, not getting anything, or I should say I'm not being inspired by anything today. Do you know that happens? That really does happen at times. So what are the bits and pieces I've bought lately then? Well, I know I've been talking about this over another video of the other week, where obviously it was the first day out, and with both the RP and the Pocket, quite enjoyable. And so yeah, there's quite a few things. Well, actually, I'll talk mainly about the one thing that I did buy, that and the reason that, and I'll say again, I'll go over the thought process. How the flicking hell am I supposed to get over here? I'll climb over that bloody thing. Jesus. And I'll go over the thought process again of why I did what I did and the reasons behind it. So, freaking rock climbing here. Oh. So I needed, well, let's go back a little bit, shall we? Because you'll have to excuse me because I'm climbing over rocks here at the same time. So on the other camera, I bought the round filters that obviously you just screw onto your your camera lens, which is really good. You know, I mean, they're not vastly expensive or anything. And they do the job well. But I did notice a bit of a problem with them, is that you can knock when you're putting them on, you can knock your focus out sometimes. So yeah, there was a bit of a pain. But as I've just found out, of changing well, not really camera systems as such, because I mean, it's still a Canon and what have you, but yeah, so the diameter of the lenses is one of these things. So you need to make sure obviously that you get your ND filter, the diameter fits your lens. But with me, is I only needed to purchase one size because the lenses I had, the diameter was all 55mm. But the problem is now, I've actually got some lenses where the diameters are totally different. And these filters don't actually fit. Do you know what? I want to walk down there. So yeah, they don't actually fit. So I went, right. This was another reason that the RP came about. I thought, right, instead of getting a load of round filters that are not going to, they're going to be useless now for me, was I thought, right, I've got to invest in a proper, well, I know the other ones are proper, but you get, hopefully you're going to get the point on this, is something which is a little bit more universal in the respects that doesn't matter what lenses I have, I can still use the same filters. So of course you're going for one of the square filters, where obviously you need then the bracket, etc, etc. And then all you need to change, depending on your diameter of your lens, is the adapter itself. So this is where things can start to get a little bit expensive for when doing things like your long exposures, and then obviously you start using your graduate filters while you're out and things like this, is because they're not really cheap. But if you buy the cheap ones, it's a bit of the same with the lens. You buy cheap glass, then your quality is going to severely reduce. So I thought I want something half decent or decent, but it's not going to break the bank. So having a look around, like I said before, there's quite a bit of kit that I've got which is KF concept, the bag, tripods, because from a price point of view, they do what I need to do at a good price, and they are reliable and stable. And they do various different ranges. They obviously do like a really cheap sort of versions, and then you start going up where obviously you pay more for your carbon fibre and what have you. So they do cater quite well, and the quality is pretty good. But because it's not a name like, your Manfrotto and all the rest of it, which, yes, they may be a good quality, but I got pretty much the same with K&F for the tripod and so on. So I started to look at their ND filters. I'm a review person where I do read reviews, which does help me to make my decision. Now, the reviews weren't bad, but they weren't brilliant. It's one of those, buy cheap, buy twice scenarios. I didn't want to fall into that trap, and I didn't want to take the chance. So I thought, I need to pick a name or a brand. Oh, that looks nice. Where I know I'm going to get some sort of reliability. I started to have a look at some filter systems, and the one that cropped up for me, which fitted both budget, reliability, quality, were Lee filters. Now, I looked at Nissi, and price wise they're pretty much the same, but I decided on Lee filters because the quality was there, reliability was there, and the price was that little bit cheaper than the Nissi filters. But this is just for the brackets, because when you get the square filters, the 100mm, by 100 mil or 100 mil by 150. They all fit into the system that I've got. So it doesn't matter now what square filter I get, providing that they are 100 mil, they will fit, which is basically all I needed. Do have a couple of filters. Got one in the bag, which I was hoping to use today. That tide's coming in. So yeah, I've got the filters that I need. There are a couple more that I do want to get. I'll say one's in my bag, so I'm going to have a look, see if I could use that. I was hoping to use it this morning, but the sea's too calm. I've seen something I like. It's just one of those things where it's nice, but I can't. I've been here for about 10-15 minutes and been looking at this, and I can't make anything from it. I hate it when this happens. You know, you see something really nice and you can't make a picture out of it. You can't get a shot out of it. I can't. Well gutted. Absolute well gutted. Well, I know it's there. I know what's around, but I can't make anything from it. It really do. I get annoyed when things like that happen. Well, I can't make anything from it. Anyway, yeah. Hope you've enjoyed this little chat. And I haven't really got much this morning. It's a bit of a shame. Until next time, take care. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.